Well, welcome to the 700 Club. A warning from Iran. If Israel goes to war against Hezbollah in Lebanon, it will find itself in a quagmire.
That threat comes as Israel's focus is shifting from Hamas in Gaza to Hezbollah in the north. Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us the story from Jerusalem.
As Hezbollah launched another wave of rockets and drones with explosives into northern Israel, setting off sirens, Israeli forces have been striking back. As the battles heat up, Iran's new acting foreign minister warned Israel not to launch a war, saying ramifications could backfire against Zionists. And he said Israel would find itself in a quagmire if it launches a full-blown war against Hezbollah in Lebanon, which he called the cradle of resistance. Iraq's foreign minister added,
If an attack occurs in Lebanon, then this will have an impact on the entire region.
Meanwhile, the Israel Defense Forces is recommending to wrap up the Rafah operation quickly in Gaza in order to prepare for a wider war against Hezbollah in Lebanon. This comes as the Iranian-backed group has upped its strikes against Israel to hundreds a day. Fires broke out in the Golan Heights and elsewhere in northern Israel, as well as in Lebanon from the increased activity in the Middle East dry season. The IDF troops have been carrying out exercises training for combat in the northern arena for the past 2 weeks. Meanwhile, in Gaza, Israeli forces located a Hamas tunnel shaft in Rafah that led to the terrorists' underground compound, as well as large quantities of weapons after terrorists emerged from a building firing at them. President Biden reiterated that Hamas is standing in the way of a ceasefire agreement.
I've laid out an approach that has been endorsed by the UN Security Council, by the G7, by the Israelis, and the biggest hang-up so far is Hamas refusing to sign on, even though they have submitted something similar.
A Hamas official admitted to CNN no one has any idea how many Israeli hostages are still alive, saying, "You have to remember not only Hamas took hostages on October 7th, so did other terrorists." Meanwhile, a new poll by the Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research shows 67% of Palestinians believe Hamas' brutal October 7th attack was the correct thing to do. 97% say Israel has committed war crimes, while only 9% believe Hamas has committed war crimes. And 71% of Palestinians believe Hamas should still rule the Gaza Strip after the war. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, that survey should show you the depth of the ideology within the Palestinians, and they've been trained for now generations to believe and earnestly believe that Israel should be wiped off the map. That was in the founding document of Hamas. Hamas is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. They put that in their charter. They've amended that charter now, but still, when you look back at the founding, what they were trying to do is wage war continually against Israel until Israel no longer exists. When you understand that ideology, then saying, okay, there can be a two-state solution. No, they don't believe in two states. There can be peace. No, you can't have peace with that. When you vow you're going to do everything in your power for your lifetime and for the lifetime of your children and your children's children, well, then how do you ever come to peace with that? I do want to point out in southern Lebanon, they're the ones attacking Israel. So if Iran wants to say Israel can't strike back, or Iraq wants to say Israel can't strike back, could they make that heard at the UN? When Israel withdrew, the UN stepped in and said, we'll have a zone, a blue zone, where there won't be any weapons, there won't be any war. We will enforce that with blue-helmeted UN soldiers. That is clearly not being enforced. Where is the international community? Why aren't they calling for the UN to fulfill its obligation to maintain peace in southern Lebanon? That is not happening. Hezbollah has full reign over that territory. And if you expect Israel to continue to just take it, 100 rockets a day, well, please think again.